Hello and welcome to my kitchen. I'm Judith. Today we're going to do a Swiss steak. I don't know why it's called a Swiss steak, to be honest, but it's a lovely stewed steak. So I have round, and we are going to pound them a little with a meat mallet first to tenderize them. Diced tomatoes, salt and pepper, bay leaves, mushrooms, assorted vegetables, some dry oregano, and oil, of course, we're going to need to cook our onion in. So first thing, we need to chop up our onion. I'll be back in a minute. You need to get your pan at a fairly good heat. So I'm using high medium, and then you want to put in a couple of tablespoons of oil. And I've already used my meat mallet to tenderize my steaks. And I have 2 eye of round steaks. I'm just going to put them in and we're just going to brown them on each side. So don't try to rush this because your steak is going to stick to the pan. When it's ready to be turned, it will release. So just carefully. There we go. This should only take a couple of minutes per side. We're not trying to cook them through. We're just browning. We're going to remove them to a plate. Set them aside. And I always say to cover them to let them absorb the juices back in. That's always a good idea, even though we're not finished cooking them. I'm going to do that. So now we're going to lower the heat a little bit. Whoops, not quite that much. And we're going to add in our chopped onion. That is 1 medium-ish yellow onion. And I don't like it when a recipe says a medium onion or small carrot or whatever, because it depends where you are. The medium and small is not a good indicator of how much that you're putting in the pan. So just stir that around and let that cook for a few minutes till it starts to soften. So that, I'd say, is probably about 2 cups of chopped onion. So we're going to give that a few minutes to soften. That should only take about 3 minutes. And the color on the onions is not because they're caramelizing, it's from the meat juice from our steak. So now we are going to return our steak to the pan. And pour in the meat juice. Never waste that, that's so good. Now I'm going to add about a cup of green pepper, chopped, which is about a half of a medium-sized green pepper. 2 cups of sliced onions. And 1 celery stalk, so again about a cup, chopped. Now I want to add the tomatoes. So I have a large can of diced tomatoes, and I'm only going to add about half of it. So we're going to go for about 16 fluid ounces, 400 milliliters of diced tomatoes, and the juice. And you could add more if you want. You could use the whole can if you want. But it is going to get very liquidy in there. And we're going to add in some bay leaves. I have, what, about 3 small bay leaves. Salt and pepper. So about half a teaspoon of salt, maybe a teaspoon, half a teaspoon of pepper. Just to your taste. And then dried oregano. And rub it between the palms of your hands to release the oils. Always gives much better flavor. And breaks it up. So, to taste, maybe half a teaspoon if it's dried. If you're using fresh oregano, definitely use more. There we go. Make sure that's kind of spread around. It will all eventually cook down. I have oregano everywhere. Now we're going to lower the heat and put a lid on. That should take about an hour and a half. Even though we've covered it, turned down the heat, don't ignore it. Once it starts to bubble, you want to turn down the heat a little bit further because we don't want to scorch the bottom. We don't want to burn it dry. We just want it to simmer lovely. And it is going to take a while to cook, so just keep checking back and making sure everything's going wonderfully. If it starts to look a little dry, add some more tomatoes or some water, and it's all good. Just check now and then to make sure you have enough liquid. And yes, with all the vegetables, you will get a lot of liquid. So it shouldn't be an issue unless you have your heat too high. It's looking wonderful. Let's have a little taste here. And put that bay leaf back in. I think we need some more salt. So just half a teaspoon maybe. And we need to check our steak for tenderness. Fork. Yeah, not terribly tender yet. So it's going to take a little while longer. And about 20 minutes to half an hour before you think it's going to be ready, turn on your potatoes. Now, whether you want to make mashed potatoes or just boiled potatoes is up to you. I'm just going to boil some lovely yellow flesh potatoes. Always remember to check for seasoning, especially if you've had to adjust the amount of liquid. Not too bad, but I think we could do with a little more salt. And it's time to serve. This is my version of Swiss steak. I'm serving it with some boiled yellow flesh potatoes. Now, you do want to get it nice and soft. That's the whole point of this. Depending on which steak cut you chose, it can take longer to cook. But basically you want it where you can shred it just with a fork and be able to chew it. Basically, it should be chewable, even if you have no teeth. Thank you for watching. Please, if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. If you liked the video, give it a like. Just hit that thumbs up icon. Everything helps. And I appreciate everyone that likes, subscribes, or even just watches my videos. So I'll be back again soon with a new video. Thank you so much for watching.